But Sean, today is Friday Eve.
It is right.
So here's the question. What, do we have any 5Ks?
Not this weekend,
Okay.
but there is a free self-defense spot. It's loaded.
Well, I may have to drive there because I will not have a law named after me. I will not be on a Lifetime movie.
There's another 5K that's free.
Oh, where is it?
You didn't send it to us for this weekend? No, that's not this weekend. It's November. November 2nd.
Oh, a 5K for my birthday.
It's that one.
I can't believe I'm doing a 5K on my birthday. That's what's happening.
It's for good.
Okay, I'll do it.
Where's my kid?
Marco, are you going to start joining us on our 5Ks?
Oh, of course.
Yay. Oh.
I gotta keep this 30-minute 2-mile.
Oh my gosh. So how was your duty while you were away from us?
Basic training was fun. So was off in the candidate school.
Mhm.
I did not like being in the field.
Ah,
With all the snakes and spiders and boars. We ran into a boar.
oh my
Our
gosh.
field training exercises.
Did you run into the board? Did the board run into you? That's the question.
We ran into the boar for sure.
Yeah.
We were doing our squad team exercises
Mhm.
and we didn't have live ammunition. We only had blanks.
Yeah.
And we just see this big, like shadowy thing come out of the
Uh-huh.
woods. What is that? And we're like, oh, it's a boar. We thought it was like a German Shepherd or something. It's a huge boar.
Mhm.
So our cadre was like, our captain was like, hey, load in your blanks in case it charges. Like, sir, like,
That's what you do, yeah.
we can scare it off if it charges.
So did it charge or no?
It looked at us and it just kept walking.
It's like, yeah, too easy, and then just walked away.
And then, yeah, pretty much. We were pulling reconnaissance one time. And I got down on the ground and I looked in front of me, I was like, what is that? And it's a rattlesnake that blended in with the leaves.
Oh my God.
And it was just like right here, right from my
Ready
face.
to-
Like, it was just staring me down. And so I
With your heart racing.
a little bit, yeah, because I didn't want to get recycled.
Yeah.
And so raised my hand and my sergeant came over. I was like, Sergeant, there's a rattlesnake in front of my face. Looked at me like I was dumb. He was like,
Yeah.
what did you do?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad you made it back with us.
Oh, it was fun. Army. Yes, sir.
All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, you need to stand and let me know you are here. If you do not respond, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Anzaldua is in custody. Rodriguez, custody. Julio Smith,
He's present with counsel, Your Honor.
thank you. Michael Yui. I promise you at one point, I'm going to get your last name correct. I'm still working on it. I just don't know what to do with all the vowels. Venegas, Samantha Venegas. Jesus Rivera. And sir, there's no one to be sitting on the front row. Matthew Villarreal, custody. Guadalupe Rodriguez Jr. Guadalupe Rodriguez Jr. Ah, thank you. Malachi Bennett. Mario Inaosa. Anthony Marino. Anthony Eduardo Marino Alvarado. Sable Cassiano. Sable Celeste Cassiano. I may need to check on that. That may have been reset. Ayana Hubbert, custody. Brandon Lynn Banks. Brandon Lynn Banks. Manuel Hernandez, Joe Jimenez, custody. Bradley Galvan.
Here, Your Honor.
Chong Din Tran. Felipe Antonio Lopez. April Perez, Jose Amador, custody. Arturo Martinez. Christopher Munoz.
Present with counsel.
Where is he? Nathan Medina, custody. Stephen Carmona, that's going to be reset.
Sure.
He has a broken jaw. Richard Baker, custody. Michelle Garzas. Desiree Garza, Ruby Caceres,
She's in custody.
Joshua Perez, thank you. Celestina Garcia, Marco Calendres, custody. Is there anyone who's present and your name was not called? All right, attorneys, these are the rules. Sometimes I see I have to repeat them because then people stare at me. So if you have a client who's in custody, request them from the deputy. Once they are requested, do not leave the courtroom because there's a limited number of inmates that are allowed out in the box for security reasons. Criminal trial division cases are there. Family violence cases are there. Do not approach the court unless you've conferred with your client and conferred with the state. If your client is in custody, yes, they need to be brought out. Court coordinator is not in charge of giving you a reset. I'm the only person who can give you a reset. If your client wishes to speak to a language other than English, whether you speak the language or not, you need to request an interpreter. Once you request an interpreter, do not leave the courtroom because there's a limited number of interpreters. If you are entering into a plea bargain agreement that requires probation, or you're requesting probation, or if your client is on probation, you need to confer with the probation officer because guess what? When you approach me, I'm going to ask, have you all talked to probation? Probation is an integral part of this process. When we are on the record, do not talk behind the court reporter. How do you know we're on the record? Because I will have called the style of the case. I will call the cause number and I will say state of Texas versus. If you're in the box and you're talking to an inmate and we're on the record, just ask the deputy to move them down to the other end, they will. And when you come before the court, since it's Friday Eve, let's make everybody's job easy. Let's speak loudly and clearly so the court reporter can have an easy job and so that I can hear. And the same loudness that you have when you're in the gallery is the same loudness you need to bring before the court. So it's Friday Eve. I know we thought we would be retired. We're not. We're probably not going to be able to retire. We'll probably be here for 40, 50 years, whatever it may be. So if we're going to be here, let's be happy. So confer with kindness in your heart and a smile on your face. So everyone, please confer. You have something for me, Mr. Gentleman. Yes. Thank you. Is he on the docket today?
No, Your Honor.
Judge Encastiano, you had a recall for 10/31.
All right. Can I see that phone?
Yes, sir, right here.
The one's gonna be argued about today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just make sure I put it in the Odyssey.
Okay.
So I don't really know this. It's close to this.
Yes, sir. Venegas.
So.
Morning, man.
So we're ready on that.
Will be, yes. Thanks. Yeah, I think a lot of people.
He's a compound.
No.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
Did I see the following Stephen Carmona? But Sean, on Stephen Carmona, that's gonna be reset. He has a broken jaw, recently broken jaw. You're right.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that, sir.
Criminal Trial Division, Family Violence. Stephen Carmona he's on page 7. It's gonna be reset. He has a broken jaw. Yes, yeah. So we're gonna recall it for November 14th. But Sean, I'm recalling it for November 14th. Oh, you know what, Sean? I have every clue to do that.
Same case.
There are 2 counts and different, I think it's very, they're different.
Figurants or count. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So do you need any? My mom got me that, so. Okay, but Sean, you know that thing that I sent you with what people say? We say snag. Nobody else knows what that means. Norma, Carmona is being reset for November 14th.
Judge. I would like to introduce you to Jessica Garcia. She's one of our CSOs. She's gonna shadow today
Hi,
in the group things and so forth.
all right, welcome. And I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Jessica Garcia.
Jessica Garcia?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we have a probation officer who is shadowing today, Jessica Garcia. So let's make her feel as though she's chosen the right profession. Let's make this a great day for her. You're welcome. So, Bashan, hopefully nobody will be shouting at anybody today. Oh, wait a second, Norma. Instead of putting that on the 14th, let me see something. Because that attorney is usually available on Mondays. You know what? Actually, put it on the 18th. Guys, Corona is going to be moved to the 18th. Sorry about that. Okay.
So I would say let's try that.
Bennett in this case. Our code is super pretty happy with it. On that way, transfer and best your knowledge. Your phone, they're very soon. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, sir. File jury.
All right, could I see the file on Mario Inosa?
Yes, ma'am. Mario, what's up?
Yes.
Yeah. Sarah.
All right, thank you. Mario Inosa? Come forward. Thank you. Hello, thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your attorney is out today for medical reasons. He's asking that your case be recalled. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what are your work hours?
Monday through Friday from 7 to 4.
All right, are you able to zoom in?
Should
Do you
be,
know how to Zoom?
yes, ma'am, but they're pretty flexible, so I can just come in.
All right, so I'm gonna give you permission. You can either Zoom in.
Okay.
Your attorney will give you the Zoom link, or either you can come in. Your attorney wants you recalled for next week. Is that gonna be a problem with your employer?
No, ma'am.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll recall you for October 31st. Is that good for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Norma, if you recall him for October 31st, please. Date on page 3, and it also is being recalled for October 31st. Morning. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Samantha Desiree Venegas?
Hi, here, ma'am.
Oh, well, that was quick. Denny Callahan, your client has arrived. Yes. No, and they'll let me know when they're ready on that. So he's not ready yet.
Thank you.
Who's here on Jesus Rivera? And counsel, is there an application for probation?
Yes, there should be. Do you not see it in there, Judge?
Oh, no, I'm just wondering because it wasn't stamped, but that's okay.
Oh, yes, it is. There.
No, I have. Let me see. All right, there's something with
And
this.
that's 2 counts, Judge, on the same case.
Oh, it's 2 counts?
It's 2 counts with different
Levels of,
levels and offers.
okay.
So, yeah,
All right, I see the application.
okay.
All right, if he can come up, where is he? Hello.
How you doing? Good morning.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Jesus Rivera? It's, oh, it appears to be, is this family violence?
Don't believe that it is, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, court is calling 2024, thank you, Marco, 2024 CR 0085525, State of Texas versus Jesus Rivera Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Edelman.
Defense?
Elizabeth Settle for the defense.
And are you Jesus Rivera Jr.?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
I have, Your Honor.
Did you review it with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rivera, did you review the document entitled Application for Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we are waiving the repeater offender enhancement allegation and waiving count 2.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
So you're proceeding on count 1 and count 3, state?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, and each of the cause numbers, did you review what's entitled court admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
And Count 3, you're charged with driving while intoxicated with a child under 15 years of age. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. And count 1, you're charged with injury to a child or elderly, disabled, reckless, serious bodily injury. That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses? Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes,
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Rivera, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each cause, did you review the plea bargain page?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right. And did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, have there been any such motion?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So according to your plea bargain agreement, as it relates to count 3, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. The state recommends community supervision. There's to be restitution, if any, to Jose Espinosa, Espinosa. In count 1, according to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison, and the state is recommending community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea,
It is, Your Honor.
state is at the plea,
Yes, Your Honor.
and the cause number as it relates to count 3, outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, DWI intervention, VIP live, portable alcohol monitor for half the term. And in count 1, outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No counsel.
Count 3, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No counsel.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
And was it the party's intention that these cause numbers would run concurrently?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Your Honor.
In each of the cause numbers, did you review the waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement that the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of count 1 and count 3, and the court will find you guilty of count 1 and count 3. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We would like to waive PSI hearing.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're just asking that you do follow the agreement. His daughter does not live with him, lives with the mother. He is paying child support. He, the injury that was involved in this case, was a 2-inch cut caused by her glasses she was wearing. She didn't need any medical attention for it. We just like you to take that into consideration and order the agreement be followed.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
What do you do?
Electrician.
How many children do you have?
I got 4 children.
What are their ages?
13, 9, 5, and 4.
And the child that was injured because you were driving intoxicated, how old is she?
She's 13, about to be 14.
Why would you drink and then pick up your child?
I wasn't thinking at the time.
Mhm.
So I just want to go get some tacos, try to make it home. That was it.
So how often do you drink?
I don't even drink no more after this.
No, but during this time, how often
At
were
that
you
time,
drinking?
Maybe every Friday.
Was this on a Friday?
I don't know exactly.
So how often are you seeing your children now?
Because of this situation, she kind of split apart a little bit. So trying to work my way in, trying to talk to her, take care of my situation so I could be better.
All right, was Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am.
Do you live by yourself or you live with someone?
I live with my wife.
And are there any vehicles at the home?
No, no, ma'am.
Well, what happened to your vehicle?
Well, I never had a vehicle. No. I was using my mother's car at that time.
When's the last time you've driven?
The last time that was situation with my case when I had a crash.
All right, any other questions? Do you
No.
have questions of your client?
You did attend sober support meetings leading
Yes,
up
ma'am.
to this, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
And how many of those did you do?
Since the time that I think it was 8 March when you gave it to me 60 days.
Mhm.
Been doing that, but I've been coming home. I do like a 12-hour shift. So when I come home tired, class don't start till 8 o'clock. So it's an hour and a half. I know that don't matter, it's just a day. So that was my understanding was.
Okay, you didn't answer a question.
I'm sorry. I did maybe like 45
Mhm.
already. And I've been blowing through that sector. Every I think it's 5 in the morning, 5 at night, and 10 in the afternoon.
And are you continuing to attend?
Oh yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty of count 1 and count 3. The court will run count 1 and count 3 concurrently. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Make sure there's a test for alcohol. There's going to be, in count 1, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. And count 2, the court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility. I'm sorry, not count 2, count 3. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be restitution to Jose Itzazarras, Itzarras Espinoza. and that's Espinoza with an A. If any. Counsel, if there's an issue with restitution, you can request a restitution hearing.
All right, Judge.
The DWI intervention course. Victim impact count alive. Portable. Well, the PAM device. For half the term.
Half the term of the DWI count, correct, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
So probation, that'll be half the term under count 3.
And Judge, would the court be amenable to giving him credit for the months that he's had that?
No. There's going to be 90 sober support meetings in 90 days. State, are you requesting driver's license suspension?
Your Honor.
All right, there's going to be 2-year driver's license suspension. So you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you drive, that's going to be a violation of your probation. I'm not going to allow you to drive. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
No, Judge,
And
you're-
counsel, if he wants to approach at some point in time where he wishes to have a occupational license, then he can approach. But first, he needs to have more sobriety under his belt and go through probation with some classes. Once he's done that, I'll reconsider.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. There's going to be a TAP evaluation. Follow recommendations probation. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. There will be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require that he takes parenting classes. Once he completes the parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied.
Thank you, Judge.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. Probation, is there anything else he needs? All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, we can go off the record. So the thing about the no driving, do not drive. You're not allowed to drive. If you want to drive, wait the appropriate amount of time. Your attorney can come in and request it. And I will tell you, if there have been no violations, and if I think it is appropriate, more likely than not, I'll give you permission to drive with an occupational license. But you'll need to approach the court. So don't try to sneak and drive or do any of that, because if you do, you're looking at 8 years on one case and you're looking at 2 on the other. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And
please.
that state jail facility time is day for day. You understand?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I do.
Now, the thing about driving while intoxicated, nobody ever takes a drink and they say to themselves, you know what? I'm going to drive while I'm intoxicated. It sometimes sneaks upon you. And then once you're intoxicated, you're not making good decisions. Your daughter could have easily been killed. The other people could have been easily killed. Then you would have been standing before me crying, saying, well, I've already lost my daughter. Show me mercy. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're one of those people who cannot drink at all. So don't drink. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, clearly.
All right. In this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's anything you need, ask probation. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always approach the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you. Probation is going to go over conditions with you, and they'll give you instructions.
Thank you very much. You have a
Thank you,
blessed.
Judge.
Oh, thank you. You have a blessed day too.
Can I have your autograph?
Sure. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
All right, have the babies?
They're good.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get you. Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Sometimes.
All right, who's here on Venegas? Good morning. Marco Venegas, she has two cases. I only have one. I have the one for 5-2. I don't have the one for 5-4.
Give me 1 second.
All right, thank you. All right, why were you late for court?
There's no, there was no excuse really. I mean, the excuse that I have is, it was a stupid excuse because I
Yeah,
wore the wrong
what's your
shoes.
stupid excuse?
I wore the wrong shoes and I was walking really slow because I didn't want to fall. And I shouldn't have worn these shoes. I
Okay, so here's the thing. This is what you have to understand.
apologize.
This is what you have to understand. How old are you?
I know I'm 44, man.
All right, you're 44. On September 24th, there was a bond forfeiture issued for you because you were a no-show and you came strolling in at 9:40 a.m. And at that time, it was recalled, your attorney came back and it was recalled and you're late again. Do not be late for this court again. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're late again, then guess what's going to end up happening? We're going to call it. Your attorney, he's not looking at going into custody, it will be you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, where are we on these cases with discovery?
No problem. We're finished with discovery, Your Honor.
Okay. State, were you able to tender an offer?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Last time.
Okay.
My mistake, Your Honor.
All right. So we were here and I do see that the offer was tendered and we were coming back today for a plea deadline date.
I believe it's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So are you asking for a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. It's a drug case. It should be fairly short. How much time do you think?
2 days, maybe.
2 days, maybe. All right, your jury trial is November 12th. If you are not on time, a warrant will be issued. Do you understand? Unless there's good cause.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State Venegas is November 12th for jury trial. And counsel, could you make sure that there's an acknowledgement of discovery completed?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, there needs to be an acknowledgement of discovery on Venegas, please.
We're just talking about paperwork.
Yeah, it's for the judge. We're ready for putting on the court is. All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Welcome, sir. Yes. Anthony Water.
Yes, we are ready on the phone.
They weren't indicted.
Yeah, it's an MTR. Yeah.
Add-ons.
Yeah.
Who's here on Christopher Ray Munoz?
Present, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
My client and I are present, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Who's the prosecutor?
All the way to the front, sir.
All right, where are we on discovery?
This case has not been indicted yet, Judge. This is a modification hearing. that was Requested by the defense.
Bond conditions.
Just 1 second.
I have courtesy copies for the court if the board would like.
Oh, I think they've attached them. Yeah.
Okay. I also have a copy of the bond conditions as they currently stand, if the court would like that.
Thank you so much.
I'll have the same thing in the state.
All right, court is calling CM 118261 and CM 118262, State versus Christopher Ray Munoz. Defense has filed a motion to modify special bond conditions. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
We have that.
Are you ready to proceed?
Yeah.
And State, are you in objection?
Objection to the motion?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Okay.
All right, so defense, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I have one minor modification that I need to make on the record to the statements in my motion, as I've learned that there has been a slight change in paragraph. Find it here. Okay. Paragraph 5, subparagraph A. There is a statement that on my client's partial house arrest, that he is not being allowed to shop for groceries or household goods. That is largely true, but he has been allowed by pretrial services to stop at convenience stores for gas and make very quick trips on his way, but largely the shopping is still an issue. So I wanted to clarify that he has been given a little bit of leniency. To my understanding, when I drafted this, there was no leniency at all. He could not shop in any store whatsoever.
So let me ask you, specifically in your motion, what are you requesting?
We're requesting relief from GPS partial house arrest, and we're also requesting relief from the blanket prohibition against being with anybody under 18.
All right, so
due
let's
to the
start
family
with,
implications.
the GPS. Do
I-
you want him removed from GPS entirely?
I would like him, we offer the court an alternative. I would like him removed from GPS entirely. If the court ends up being unwilling after hearing testimony, then we would ask for GPS to be switched to tracking only.
Okay. And State, would you have an objection to tracking only?
GPS stays in place.
Oh, no. I'm just asking just blanket questions right now, and then I'll hear everybody's argument. So I just want to pare down where the disagreement is or the objection is. So you want GPS removed entirely or either tracking in the alternative?
Yes.
Okay, and then what's the other thing that you're requesting?
The other thing is we would like relief from the provision where he is not allowed to have contact with any person 17 years of age or younger, as that is conflicting with family get-togethers and as we'll introduce from his mother's testimony.
All right, so State, do you have any objection to him being around people who are 17 years of age?
We do that.
All right, so now I know where the disagreements are.
That's the entire scope of this morning's motion.
All right, and so there are no other bond conditions you're asking to be modified, just those
That is
two?
correct. Just those two.
All right,
Yes, yes.
all right, you may call your witness.
The defense calls Mary Munoz. Mary Munoz, please come forward.
Sir, then I'm here. You're back against the-
No, we don't have any cough drops, do we? Thank you, I appreciate that.
Good morning.
Good morning. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Everyone, please make sure you whisper. We're on the record. Could you state your name for the record?
Mary Ellen Munoz.
All right, just make sure you keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear, okay? All right, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, counsel, you may proceed.
Ms. Munoz, do you know Christopher Ray Munoz?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Christopher?
He's my second son.
Okay. You are his biological mother?
Biological mother, yes.
Did you raise him in your home?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, you are aware of his arrest in March on the current case, correct? Cases?
I am.
Okay. And you're aware that he bonded out
I do.
and you have invited him to make his home in your home
Yes.
for the time being?
Yes.
I would like to ask you some questions because you would be aware of the things that I want to ask about. Okay. Do you currently live at 127 West Drexel Avenue in San Antonio?
That is correct.
Is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
How long have you resided there?
since September, October of 2014.
So you've been there for 10 years.
Yes.
Now, is it true that Christopher, for the most part, is unable to shop for himself?
Yes,
Have you been having to buy his groceries?
I have.
Have you been having to do other businesses that require going to a store for him?
Clothing.
Okay. Would you agree that that has cost you extra time because you've been the one to have to do those things?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have extended family other than Christopher? You said he was your second son, right?
yes,
So you have other children?
I have one of my oldest.
How many other kids do you have besides Christopher?
I just have a son and a daughter.
Okay. And do you have any grandchildren?
I have grandchildren. I have
Okay.
four grandsons.
Okay. Now, before this incident and before Chris was on bond, would you frequently have your children and grandchildren over to your home?
Yes,
Okay,
for dinners and
okay. Are any of these grandchildren under 18?
yes, three of them.
Has this created a hardship because Christopher's not allowed to be around persons under 18?
It has birthdays and Mother's Day and
So have these relatives just not come, or have you made Chris leave, or have you?
they just don't come to the house. The children are not allowed to come. I'd have to go over there.
Are you aware that Christopher has a son?
Yes,
Do you know the name of his son?
Jackson David Carranza Munoz.
And do you know approximately how old Jackson is?
He is 8 years old.
Now, before this incident or before this arrest, was Christopher active in his son's life?
Yes, every other week he would pick him up and have him for the weekend and take him back.
Okay. From what you could see, did Jackson appear to enjoy being around his dad?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Since Christopher's release on bond, to your knowledge, has he been able to see his son?
No, he hasn't been able to see him or talk to him.
Have you heard from Jackson during this time?
Yes, I have
Okay.
contacted his mother and
Okay.
yes,
Now, I understand that after this incident or after this arrest, CPS investigated Christopher, is that right? Are you aware of this?
yes,
Okay. And are you aware if they found any reason for concern regarding Jackson?
no, they did not.
Okay. Are you aware of whether their investigation has been closed?
Yes, we received a letter that it's been closed.
Okay. And I believe that letter was provided as an exhibit to the court, to the original motion, right? Okay. Have you ever seen Christopher acting inappropriately around Jackson?
No, never.
Now, you have another son. What is your other son's name?
Juan Munoz,
Juan.
Junior.
And does Juan,
Excuse me, counsel, I'm sorry for interrupting. I don't have the letter attached. You said there was a letter?
there should have been a letter. See if I made a note that I attached that as a motion or as an. Let me see. That should have been part of, I did not print out the letter this morning because I thought, yes, I believe I attached it to the original motion. But it states that CPS did a peremptory investigation into Christopher regarding his son Jackson and found nothing and closed the investigation with no reason to believe.
All right, and state, have you reviewed that letter?
I did not know there was a letter.
All right,
It's
just one
possible it
second.
may not have attached.
Well, let me, are you
I thought
able to, that's okay. Are you able to email the letter to me and I'll
I'm
print
able
it
to
out?
email that letter today.
Let me,
Yes, I have it. And
Let
if
me
we
get-
want to table the decision until the court can review that letter, that would be fine.
what I will do is, this is my email address. If you're able to email it to me, then I'll email it back to both parties, so it won't be considered ex parte.
That's fine. I will do that and I will make sure that I have your email address as well and I'll. do
And
it to
if you
both.
attached it to your motion, the clerks may be able to pull it up as well.
I attempted to, not everything I've attempted to e-file has gone the way that I wanted it
Okay,
to.
all right, no problem.
So, but I'll make sure that the court has it within the next 2 hours.
All right, thank you. You may continue.
Okay. We had said, I had asked if you had another son and you identified the son as Juan Munoz Jr., is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, does Juan have any kids?
Yes, he's got 3,
Okay. And are any of those kids under 18?
2 of them.
Okay, what are their names?
Noah Munoz and
Okay.
Elijah Munoz.
Do you have an idea about how old Noah and Elijah are?
Noah's 13 and Elijah's 8.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry, he just turned 9.
okay. Now, prior to this arrest, are you aware of whether Christopher was active in his nephew's lives?
Oh, yes, he was.
Okay, and he and his brother or he and his nephews
Were
would frequently
close.
see each other?
Yes.
Okay. And since his arrest, are you aware of whether Christopher has been able to have any contact with his nephews?
No, he hasn't.
Have his nephews been able to come over to your house?
No, they cannot.
Okay. Do you wish they could have?
Yes.
Now, what does Christopher, excuse me, what does Christopher do for his job?
He's a press operator.
I'm sorry, what?
Cutting press operator for the company that I work at.
Okay, and what's the name of the company you work at?
Diversified Printing Services.
Okay, so he is a die operator at a printing shop. What does that function do?
It's a die cutting press. It runs sheets through and it cuts them and makes into pocket folders,
Got it, okay.
brochures, those HEB sleeves.
Got it. So it's involves cutting different types of paper.
Yes, and of operating
Okay.
forklift and moving pallets and things
Okay.
like that.
Now, are you aware of whether Christopher, before this incident or before this arrest, was able to do jobs on the side, skilled labor, unskilled labor?
Yes, maintenance.
What is Chris good at?
Air conditioning repair.
Okay. And since his arrest, has he been able to go do any of these side jobs that you're aware of?
No, he hasn't.
Do you have any idea why he has not been able to do that?
Because they require going to the actual home to look at the units.
Okay. And do you know whether he has tried to get permission from pretrial services to do side jobs?
I think one time he did ask for permission.
Are you aware of whether he was granted permission?
They did grant him permission one time.
Was there an issue of how much advance timing notice they needed or anything like that?
It was a day's notice advance.
Okay. And are you aware of whether he always has that much notice when he has a job opportunity?
No.
Okay.
No.
So has the lack of notice affected his ability to accept these opportunities, in your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Do you believe that Christopher poses a danger to you?
No. I mean, yes, no, I believe he does not pose a danger to me.
Okay, who else lives in your home?
I'm just myself.
Okay. Do you believe that Chris poses a danger to anybody else in your extended family?
No.
Would you be worried if anybody in your extended family spent time around Christopher?
No, I would not be worried. I never have worried.
Okay. Do you want the court to grant him relief from GPS monitoring?
Yes, I do.
Do you want the
Very
court
much.
to grant him the ability to travel around freely?
Yes,
Do you want the court to allow him to be around people who are not yet 18?
yes. Especially my his nephews
Okay.
and his son.
Wanted to ask one other question. You mentioned that Juan Munoz was a junior.
Mhm.
Now, you said you lived alone. So
Yes.
does that mean that you are no longer with Christopher's father?
Right, we were
Okay.
divorced in 2008.
Okay. So does Christopher's father is he still living?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Has Christopher been able to go and visit his father?
No, he hasn't,
Do you know why?
because he has to be at my house.
Ask the witness.
State.
So yes, I have a few questions for you.
Yes.
Are you aware of the charges that Mr. Munoz is currently facing?
I was made aware of them, yes.
It's, continuous sex abuse of the mind, right?
Right.
Which you would agree with me, it's a very serious.
It's a very serious charge, yes, I know.
Because it involves children, right?
Mhm.
And you're aware that while he is facing his trial date, there needs to be some special conditions as part of his bond, right?
Yes,
And one of those conditions is to keep him under partial house arrest, right?
right,
So he is still allowed to go to work. right? It's just that he wants more time to go to work.
Yes, correct.
But you agree with me that even though you said that he does not pose a danger to you because you're his mother, you agree with me that there could be a danger to the community for someone facing this charge.
No, I don't believe that.
So you would agree with me that by, okay, so do you know any other facts in this case?
I just know what I was read,
What you read?
well, no, what came out on the news.
Okay, but of course, everything that gets reported in the news is not full case.
Right, correct.
There's definitely more information. So you haven't talked to these girls, right?
No, I don't even know where they live.
Okay, so it's fair to say that you're missing information, right, that we have, which is why we have concerns, right? Okay, so you mentioned that he doesn't have, he cannot go grocery shopping, right?
Right.
But you agree with me that he can still get groceries, right?
If I go out of town, then he's left to fend for himself.
Well, but there's ways to get groceries, like maybe at curbside. Have you heard of HEB curbside?
Yes,
You can
correct.
go and pick up the groceries out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
You
in
pay
terms of-
more if you can.
Well, you can pay more if you need it immediately, but it's
Mhm.
free if you order it ahead of time.
Correct.
Okay. Um. You also stated that you don't believe that he's a danger to the family members, to
Correct.
the extended family, but you also said that the extended family cannot go to your home because of the conditions, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but you agree with me that Mr. Munoz doesn't necessarily have to live with you, right? He can live somewhere else.
He was evicted from his apartment that he lived at when he got these charges on him.
Okay, but he's working, right?
Right.
And he can maintain himself, or he could, right, and live somewhere else.
That would be difficult because then he would have to disclose what he's charged with.
And you think that the community would want to know these kinds of things?
Because I don't believe that he did this.
Yeah, but you just told me that you don't know all the information. How can you believe that?
Because I know my son.
Okay, I see. Because you love your son,
Yes.
right? And you're gonna do everything to protect him.
Of course.
No further questions, Judge.
Any other questions?
Are you aware that HEB does a 3% upcharge for curbside orders? Were
Yes,
you aware of that?
I am aware of it because.
Even if you order ahead?
Correct, I know.
No further questions.
All right, here's my question. Who all lives in your home? What are their ages?
Me, I'm 63 and then my son Christian.
All right, those are the only two people who live in your home?
2, yes.
All right, so with regards to what is in place now, which is that he cannot be around persons 17 or younger, who are the people? And when I say people, I mean, what are their ages of the people who you want to be in your home who are 17 years or younger?
My grandson Noah, 13, my other grandson Elijah, he's 9, and then of course Jackson.
Okay, and how old is Jackson?
Jackson's 8 years old, that's his son.
All right, so the 13-year-old and the 19-year-old, do their parents know what he's charged with?
The 19-year-old?
I'm sorry,
Oh.
the 13-year-old and the 9-year-old, do their parents know what he's charged with?
Yes, they do.
And the 8-year-old, does the mother of that child
Yes.
know what he's charged with?
Yes, she does.
And the parents of the 13-year-old, the 9-year-old and the 8-year-old, do they have issues with him being alone with the 13-year-old, 9-year-old and 8-year-old?
No, they don't have any issues.
Okay,
Does your daughter have any children?
My daughter doesn't have any children yet.
okay.
She's trying.
So with regards to the 13-year-old and the 9-year-old, do they have to come to your house or can you go to their home?
That's what I've been doing, going to their home, but when I have family gatherings or it's my birthday or Easter or something like that, it'd be nice to have it at my house. And especially for Thanksgiving, Christmas is coming up.
So you're saying
And
Thanksgiving,
babysitting too, because sometimes, my son lives on base at Lackland. And sometimes I would like for them to bring him to my house and they could,
and he's not allowed on base, is he?
not right now, no.
And why is he
Well,
not
he
allowed?
had passed for base, yes, he was.
But he's not not
He
allowed on
hasn't
base
been
now?
able to go anywhere. Once he goes to work, he comes.
No, no,
home.
no. My question is, with the charges he has, is he allowed on base?
I don't know.
May I
All right,
clarify?
and, oh, just one second. When is your birthday?
It just passed July 24th.
Okay, all right, you may ask questions.
Has he even attempted to go on base since he was put on house arrest?
No.
All right, any other questions?
Not
All right.
today.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Your Honor, when
Yes.
he was arrested, of course, he was a magistrate. He didn't have an attorney at the time. So everything's put into place without counsel.
Well, I can tell you, when a person goes before a magistrate,
Mhm.
it's not considered adversarial.
Mhm.
So what ends up happening when a person goes before a magistrate, that magistrate just tells them what their rights are.
Mhm.
Nobody questions him about the facts of the case or whether it's true or not.
Mhm.
They just read it. The magistrate will read what the charges are to make sure there's probable cause. Then what will end up happening is the magistrate will tell him his rights, you know, what you've heard on television,
Yes.
right to remain silent, and then the magistrate will set a bond. Okay? So the magistrate's job is not to determine whether he's guilty or not guilty. You understand? Because their burden is much lower.
Yes,
All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
thank you.
You may see.
All right, you can call your next witness.
No further witnesses, just have argument, and I will provide the court with the document that we mentioned.
All right.
Would this be the appropriate time for argument?
Yes, well, I have a few questions. Maybe the attorneys can address this.
Okay.
So,
So before we move forward, the person
Yes.
judge, I just wanted to see, I don't have any witnesses, but I want to see if I can introduce, please give the warrant, just get police report and prosecution back to the court.
yes. Any objections to the court reviewing the police report and the prosecution guide?
We object simply because there is no sponsoring witness, there's no supporting documentation, it is simply an unproven charge. And we would ask the court to either to decline to review it because there is nobody to sponsor it, or to at least take notice of the fact that nothing in there is proven.
All right, the court will take notice that nothing is proven. This will just, and I will tell you, the purpose of my reviewing it is to figure out why the state is objecting to the 17 years of age. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Correct. My response would be, Judge, that the rules of evidence for 101, you know, proceeding like this, the rules of evidence don't apply.
All right, thank you. All right, so first issue, and if y'all can tailor your arguments to the questions that I have. So state, with regards to him going to a grocery store, what is the specific issue with him shopping for groceries?
Given that there are two victims in this case, one of the witnesses is a child, so total of 3 minors. I believe any exposure to any children in the community is a danger. I don't believe that he should be in public places or places where there are children around, which would be a grocery store.
Okay. All right, so here's the court issue with the grocery store shopping. People have to be allowed to have food. So what we can do with regards, I'm not going to remove GPS tracking, but I will allow him a time period where he can go to the grocery store. The tracking will actually show him at the grocery store. So what hours does he need to go to the grocery store?
Would normally be evenings and weekends, times when he's not working. And it would not necessarily just be the grocery store. Sometimes we need Scotch tape, sometimes we need new shoes.
All right, they have that at the grocery store. They do have Scotch tape at the grocery store. And if you, I'm not promoting anybody, but Walmart has everything. HEB has everything. Walmart has shoes. They do have groceries as well. If you're going to the Walmart that has everything. HEB, if you're going to the big HEB, my understanding, they have shoes, they have everything. So it's not going to be every day. Pick a day for when he wants to go to the grocery store.
Would you be able to do shopping on a Saturday or on a Sunday more conveniently?
I would.
Pick a day,
Saturday,
Saturday, Sunday, Saturday. Okay.
All right, Saturday for the grocery store. What's the time frame? And I'm thinking children, when I was growing up, children would be at home in the morning time watching cartoons, getting up at 6 a.m., waking parents up.
Could be working Saturday daytime. Would it be appropriate for your evening, or is there some place that's gonna be closed by evening?
Oh, HEB is 24/7, so is Walmart.
I think Walmart is 24/7. I don't know about H.
HEB still closes at 11. I have a daughter who works
Oh,
there.
HEB closes at 11? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Walmart is 24/7. So what time for the grocery store?
If the, how large or small a time frame is the court looking for, like a 4-hour time frame? Or
Oh, it
what are you
doesn't
looking
take
for?
people 4 hours to grocery shop.
Okay.
All
I
right,
would say after 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
Be 2 hours.
yeah, 2 hours for grocery shopping.
Okay.
So what time? Saturdays? What are the hours for grocery shopping?
About 5 p.m.
5 to 7
5 to
p.m.
7.
Okay.
5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for grocery shopping on 7. Now, we've settled that. I'm not removing GPS, but I will allow him to go grocery shopping from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Is tracking unacceptable as an option to the court?
No, I'm not going to do tracking. Is he being allowed to work?
Yes.
He is currently being allowed to work. I think the issue was he wanted to do additional.
He had
Jobs,
additional
side jobs,
opportunities
okay.
because he's good at AC repair and things like that. And he was not able to embrace most of those because they required more advanced notice than pretrial was comfortable with. And pretrial also wanted to know, is this somebody's home that he would be at or something like that?
Because here's the thing, if he's doing AC work, if he has to go inside somebody's home,
Correct.
then they need to know what he's charged with in case they have children inside the home. And I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm not taking it as true, just
Yeah.
based upon the nature of the charges.
You gotta be fair to both sides.
Yes. All right. So partial GPS for employment, that's going to still stand, and he's allowed to grocery shop on Saturdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Now, the next thing we're going to move to is this 17 years or younger issue. Thanksgiving, Christmas. State,
So it would be the same argument, Judge. This is more than one victim. I did not know about the CPS letter. I will have no objections if he wants to see his son and his son only. However, any cousins or any other minor children, I would probably be objecting to that.
Your Honor, in response, may I respond to that?
yes.
The allegations in this case date back to 2017. It is 2024 now. There is no allegation of any inappropriate contact with children since then. There have been no criminal charges since then that have stuck. There was a misdemeanor assault that was charged and then summarily dismissed because the justice system worked like it was designed to work.
All right.
So
So,
if there were going to be issues involving his nephews, they would have come up by now.
all right. Number one, I'm not going to allow any unsupervised contact with minors. So with regards to Thanksgiving and Christmas, usually I know Thanksgiving and Christmas, when people come over, they stay forever, but there's going to be a window of time for Thanksgiving and Christmas where the mom can have her grandchildren there and he can be there as well. But it's no unsupervised contact. Any objections to that as an option, state?
Well, see, I have concerns, Judge, because the allegations that were made, police report, there was adults in the home, it was just in a different room
No,
where this
that's
happened.
inaccurate.
That's my understanding. So absent any,
Let me reread your police report, because I think in the police report, I think,
I think there's more details in the prosecution guide with the child too.
okay,
I have transcribed the whole thing. There has never been an allegation of anything that happened while any other adult was in the home.
just one moment, because I didn't read that, but let me see if I can see what you're talking about. No, it does say that, that other people were in a different room.
So for those reasons, we want.
All right.
The other people were not adults. The other people were allegedly the girls.
Okay.
So anyway, but per further evidence.
All right, so here's the thing. Thanksgiving, I don't know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I don't know how his family proceeds with their Thanksgiving, their Christmas, but there can be a window if mom is the person in charge of cooking Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner. There can be a window where they can be there, but usually I know people don't want to leave right away after dinner, so I will give them a time frame on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Would you like to ask mom? She's still here in the room.
Mom, if you'll come forward.
Mary Munoz, please step forward again.
All right, so are you the person who's going to be having Thanksgiving at your home?
I would like to have it at my home this year, yes.
And do you have Christmas at your home?
We each have Christmas at my home, or we'll have Christmas at my son's home. The
All
one
right.
That lives on base.
All right, so
Or my
Christmas,
daughter, I'm sorry, she lives in Seguin.
all right, so for Thanksgiving, when is your Thanksgiving dinner?
Thanksgiving Day.
No, I mean, what are the hours?
Oh, all day, basically. Till about 9 o'clock, 10 p.m.
All right, so Thanksgiving Day, 9 a.m. to what time state? Because I normally with Thanksgiving, families are cooking all day.
I mean, I prefer not to have any, but
Yeah.
if it's just gonna be the lunch or the dinner. just
Yes.
For eating, it just depends on what time you want to eat.
But usually Thanksgiving dinner is throughout the day. Okay, 9 a.m. to,
May the defense make a comment?
yes.
In my experience, and I have not been at the Munoz household, but in my experience, we have a lot of meal prep. We have a very big meal that's way too big. There's no room left for dessert. There's football games, there's naps, there's dessert, there's leftovers, there's frequently games.
Well, I will tell you. In
Which part of
my,
that do we want to nix?
well, in our tradition, dinner is cooked the day before and everybody just relax on the event. So it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the parents of the 13-year-old, the 9-year-old, and the 8-year-old need to submit a letter stating they know what he's charged with. And they are fine with him being in a home with a 13-year-old, 9-year-old, and an 8-year-old supervised.
Yes. And that's all I want, and it's for, even if I'm always there, or somebody else is always there.
9 a.m., 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving. Christmas,
Could we ask for the same thing, Your Honor?
well, here's the problem with Christmas. Christmas is going to be on base. I don't know if they're going to allow him on base with his charges. They probably not. But if they are allowing him on base, then it will be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And again, there will need to be a letter submitted that the parents, and when I say parents, I mean both parents, know what he's charged with and have no objection to him being in a room with a 13-year-old, 9-year-old, and 8-year-old, but he must be supervised. There must be an adult there. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Nothing further with regard to, if that is all of what the court wishes to do on the motion, then there's nothing further at this time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. What's the?
Oh, and Ben, Ah, yes.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
All right, Ben.
Sorry, Your Honor, I was just in the.
That's okay.
I'm speaking to the family.
That's okay. So, on the court's order,
Yes.
and Raymond, on the court's order, you all will need to put in the order. Just one moment.
I put some blank.
Okay. Oh, and counsel,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, we've recited the names and date of birth in the motion. Yeah, I
All
keep
right.
handing it to you. It's underlined in the motion. In
All right, thank you.
that case, may I hand this back to you as well?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anything further that the court needs from me this
No,
morning?
that's all. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Ruby Caceres,
Yes, Your Honor.
what happened to your leg?
For attending, Judge.
How? You have to come up with a great story for that.
Yeah, I was lifting 2,000 pounds. No.
All right, court is calling 2020 CR 7910, State of Texas versus Ruby Caceres. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Raymond Saldana?
Defense,
Amir Memorial, Your Honor.
are you Ruby Caceres?
Yes, I am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I do understand.
Are you the same Ruby Caceres who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 7910 for the offense of assault family second offense on November 13, 2020 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, I am.
All right, state.
Moving forward with condition number 5, Judge. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Ruby Caceres did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of May 2024 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
The state will be waiving and abandoning the remaining conditions.
No,
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
True.
No, do you still wish to complete true to violation of condition number 5, knowing that the court could send you to prison for 10 years?
Yes, true. The violation, yes.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
Listen to me.
Yes, sir.
You've pled true to violation of condition number 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you understand that your contract is not with your attorney? It's not with the state. Your contract is with the court.
Yes.
Do you understand that if there's an agreement that has been reached between the attorney and the state, I don't have to follow that? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand I could send you to prison for 10 years?
Yes.
And do you understand I could fine you $10,000?
Yes.
Knowing all that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
I did violate it. So yes, it's true.
All right, 5 will be found true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge. We ask that the court deny the motion, continue the defendant on probation or deferred adjudication, alter and amended conditions to have her screened for felony drug court. In the alternative, she's not accepted to SADA.
I do not understand why I should follow this. And let me just explain why. She's been here before. And the MTR was withdrawn. It was altered and amended to include MIC evaluation, and she was extended for 1 year. So I just don't see how she's a good candidate. Does anybody want to address how would be a good candidate for this? I don't see it.
So the complainant, the defendant's brother did mention to us that she has drug problems that he would like to have her get addressed. And probation did recommend, although it was the other way around, probation recommended SADA, and then it's disqualified to evaluate for drug court. But I felt that it's better to do felony drug court first to help her with the process, and then if that doesn't work, then of course we can give her the SADA.
So who is the complainant in this case?
It's my understanding, I would have to double check, Judge, if it's this particular case that he's on probation for, but it's Ricardo Cáceres,
Her brother?
the brother, yes.
All right. Hi, let's have the brother come up. Hello.
I'm the victim.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ricardo Cáceres.
All right, what does your sister need to be successful in probation?
My sister, to be successful first, she has to go to rehab, but I don't know if that'll help her because my sister's mentally ill. She's incompetent. She's been like that for the last 10 years. People don't understand that she has a mental problem. She does not have a drug problem. She's mentally incompetent. She's vulnerable. And when she gets in the street, my sister is manipulated by the drug addicts and drug dealers because they know she's not altogether there. She's not going to survive on the street. She's going to die. I've taken her to the hospital 3-4 times because she's overdosed. And she's been in here before you, before Judge Gonzalez and all the judges. It's a revolving door for the last 10 years. Nobody takes me seriously. Her probation officer are afraid of me because I try to help them and they don't want my help. I tell them, look, my sister needs to go to rehab. This is a serious thing. She's been there before. She relapses, but I don't think she's ever going to be the same again because she's mentally ill and mentally incompetent. And my sister needs to be supervised for the rest of her life. Now, if they let her go, the only thing I requested from a probation officer, put a monitor on her so we know where she is at all times. Now, he said the monitors are expensive. I told him, look, I'm going to pay for it. Don't tell me it's expensive because I'm paying for it. Then he said, well, then put her in a halfway house, but she needs to be supervised for the rest of her life because I don't know if it's a drug problem, but I think she's mentally ill. She's been like that ever since she was in a car wreck. She had a tumor in her head. She's never been the same. So we got a mental problem and we got a drug problem at the same time, but she needs supervision for the rest of her life. And I've been with her for the last 10 years. Our family wants, I'm representing our family, brothers, all her brothers. They told me to call to court and speak on their behalf. She needs help and she's needed it a long time ago and they don't give her the rehab. They just send her back on the street again. And she was here with you about a year or two ago. She was with Judge Gonzalez and it's been the same thing, a revolving door over and over. I love my sister. I'd rather see her in prison than see her dead. I'd rather see her be in prison because she's gonna be alive in prison because they're gonna be supervising her. Out here in the streets, she's by herself. She goes and sleeps in the bus stops. And she's a drug addict. I love her, but I want her to live. She's going to die in the streets. I've already taken her to the hospital for overdoses, and she doesn't want to live. That's all. It's a spiritual problem, I guess. I don't know if it's a mental or what, but I'm
Okay.
I'm added up to it. I mean, I've been taking care of her for the last 10 years. And
All right, thank you so much. So I'm going to try to see if we can get her some help, okay?
yes, but
All right.
if you release her back to the street, at
No,
least-
she's not being released. All right, thank you. All right, so this is what the court is gonna do. If you'll come back up. Court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. The court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to felony drug court referral.
Judge,
Will they not accept her?
either that or it's Esperanza court.
All right, so we'll do felony drug court or Esperanza. And she's to remain in custody for those evaluations. Probation, if for any reason she's not accepted, let the court know. We'll bring her back and we'll consider something else. And I'll do GPS, full, waive the fees, and extend her for 2 years.
Judge, are you going to extend her from today or because she expires in November of 2025? Are you going to expire?
No, we're extending her from today.
Judge, that's the extension actually,
Because she's been on since 2020. So that's 2024, and we add 2 more years.
Judge, but the way that it works when you do the expiration, the extension, it goes from the expiration date.
Okay,
So do you want it? do you
From
want
the
it
expiration date.
2025?
yes. All right, we're gonna try to get you some help, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, nobody can help you if you don't want to help yourself. I can put you in a program, refer you to a program. I understand what your brother is saying, that you have mental health issues, but they can't determine your mental health issues until you're clean and sober. Because sometimes the drug use masks your mental health issues, and people will think there's an issue, maybe schizophrenia or something else, but when it really is not. So you're gonna have to do your part. If you're not gonna do your part, you're looking at 10 years in the prison. You understand?
I understand.
All right, if you need something, you need to let probation know. So what's gonna end up happening, we can go off the record. This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go back to the jail. While you're in custody, you're gonna be interviewed by Esperanza Court and Felony Drug Court. You need to be 100% honest with them about your drug issues and mental health previous diagnosis. You understand? If for some reason Esperanza Court or the drug court doesn't accept you, you're going to be brought back here. You're not going to be released. You're going to be brought back here. We're going to see what program we can come up with. If you're released, you're going to be on GPS, and it's going to be full GPS, and I'll ask that the fees be waived. And you're going to be extended for 2 years. You understand? So this is sort of your safety net for you to get your life together. And it's up to you. You understand? You have any questions about anything?
No questions at all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
One second.
I don't know why Odyssey keeps saying there's a issue. So as soon as I get that up and put it in the system, I'll hand it to you.
Yes, sir.
Antonio Alvarado.
I don't see him here, Judge.
Is he in custody?
I don't know. They never tell me half the things. He shouldn't be in custody.
All right. Let me just see what page he's on. Antonio Marino Alvarado. All right, we'll go on the record. Court is calling Antonio's, and there's an S on it, Antonio's Eduardo Marino Alvarado. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 009544, State of Texas versus Antonio Eduardo Marino Alvarado. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris Edelman.
Defense?
Gary Sherrick for the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 10:38 a.m. Your client did not answer docket call at 9. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
I have none, Your Honor.
All right. And state, what are you requesting?
Question on forfeiture issue warrant.
All right, that will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
All right.
You check to see if this was a PR bond.
Yeah, it was a PR bond, so I don't know if they notified him.
All right, so since it's a PR bond, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remain without bond. If you make contact with your client, the court will reconsider.
All right.
Who's here on Joshua Perez?
Menace?
Sorry, just give me one moment. I'm trying to find him on the docket.
Page 9.
All right, thank you. You say page 5?
9.
9, okay. All right, is this a motion to revoke?
It is,
Are you all ready to proceed on the motion?
no matter.
Why not?
He has an
So-
at-large family violence page that.
So we have a case, Judge, from August of this year that is new. We're asking, I guess for a 2-week reset to see if we can resolve that at large case as well. Otherwise, if we handle the MTR now, there could be a potential new MTR if that other case gets filed. So I need to get it assigned to an intake prosecutor and have it reviewed. And I'm hopeful I can get it done within 2 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. If you recall this on November 4th, please. Or either the 7th, which is best?
Please.
All right, we'll come back on November 7th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a seat, sir.
All right, Judge, Mr. Alvarado, he was on the PR bond. And the notice that was sent out for his court date was rejected.
Okay. He gave the wrong address. Thank you.
That's the motion. That's
All right, who's here on Bennett? Malachi Bennett? Court is calling 2024 CR 009525. State of Texas versus Malachi Bennett. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Harris, Edelman.
Defense?
John St. Heinrich for the defense.
And are you Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
Your Honor,
Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Bennett, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Your Honor, yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand them? You need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention in a vehicle? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, no, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Bennett, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes,
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration County Court Cause number 726862. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes,
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney?
yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes,
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your term of deferred adjudication be for 4 years. There be 200 hours community service restitution and a driving safety course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state?
yes,
And the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
yes,
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
No objections, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And do I have the cause to be taken in consideration?
Yes, Your Honor, but it is assigned to County Court 12.
All right,
and
thank you.
I
If you'll
don't
send it to them. Yes.
Your Honor, if I may, before we're done on the record, my client is attending the South Texas Vocational School. I would ask,
Just 1 second. Let
Sorry.
me. All right, Mr. Bennett, did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
yes,
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes,
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same.
yes, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
State. We are.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is attending the South Texas Vocational School. And you're studying what?
Automotive, technician.
Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider coming down somewhat on the community service hours. My client believes that providing hours to the community, or providing work to the community is valuable and is necessary as part of his plea bargain agreements. We have no issues with completing community service hours, but I would be asking the court to come down somewhat from the 200-hour community service to what the court believes is reasonable, taking into consideration that my client is a full-time student.
All right. So how old are you?
21.
All right, do you have any children?
No.
All right, why are you doing donuts in a parking lot? And then turning it into a fast and a furious chase?
Just cause,
Just cause. Are you currently driving?
yes,
All right, so what's the bus route for you to go to classes?
like what?
No, what bus would you take from your house to get to your class? There's a bus route though, right?
Yes,
All right, so you're not gonna be driving. So I'm taking away your privilege to drive. Once you've shown to the court that you can be responsible, then you can drive again. You understand?
yes, ma'am.
So if you drive while you're on probation, you're looking at potentially 10 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes,
So did you drive yourself here today?
no,
Who drove you?
my dad.
All right, so your dad?
Is that okay, Judge?
Yes. All right, so here's the thing, he's not allowed to drive for a while, you understand? He could have killed somebody. So you're not gonna be allowed to drive for 6 months. Because you need to learn that that's a privilege, and when you do crazy things, it's not television. This whole thing where you watch Fast and the Furious, where he's pulling down a helicopter with a chain with his arms, real life, human being can't do that unless they're X-Men. So, and this whole thing where they're jumping off a freeway and hopping on cars, can't do that. Where they're reaching out of their car, driving 90 miles per hour and pushing a rocket launcher to the side, can't do that in real life with your hands. You understand? So you have to learn that you could have killed somebody and your privileges need to be suspended for a while so you can really internalize what could have happened. You understand?
Yes.
All right, so I'm taking in consideration County Court Cause number 726862. I'm going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you complete some type of trade school and receive your certification. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. Are you employed or no?
No, ma'am.
All right, so you just school full-time?
Yes.
All right, probation, I'll allow him not to work to be in school full-time so he can get that done. There is to be field visits, 1 time per month for 4 months, no driving for 6 months. He's to complete the defensive driving course. And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Thanks.
All right. Let's do a UA today. And if it's positive, then we'll do sober support meetings.
I apologize that you wait not today.
Okay.
It takes a little while for them to update and get them actually assigned in the system. So I can have it on Mondays.
All right, so UA Monday. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. If there's anything you need, let your probation officer know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, then you can always come back to the court, okay? You could have killed so many people. You understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, who's here on?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good one. Yes.
Well, maybe excuse.
All right, tell your mom I said hi.
Most definitely, Your Honor.
All right. Who's here on Nathan Deshaun Medina?
President, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2019 CR 5359W, State of Texas versus Nathan Deshaun Medina. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
I've been confirmed with Tony. Tony.
Tony Arriola for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Colin Hobbs from Mr. Medina, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Medina?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state, are you proceeding on the First Amendment motion or no?
Judge, I think we were just here for the bond today. We had
Oh, for the
requested-
bond. Okay. All right, does anybody have a copy of the bond motion?
I can run and get it. I e-filed it yesterday. It was accepted. But I assumed it was gonna be in your file, but I can go print a copy for you.
All right, if you could.
I'll be right back.
All right, just have a seat.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Oh.
Thanks. Sorry about that, Judge.
No problem. All right, are the parties ready on this motion? Because this was filed on May 25th, 2021. Are you all ready to proceed on the motion to revoke or no?
I hadn't discussed it. I probably have additional witnesses for the purposes of that hearing, Your Honor. He just got arrested. I had my first colonoscopy earlier this week, probably too much information, but I haven't had a full work week as normal. So there'd be additional people I'd hope to at least interview and maybe bring as witnesses for the full motion to revoke hearing.
All right, so your motion to revoke is going to be on November 7th.
Okay. At the end of this hearing, depending on the outcome, I might ask you to bump that back a little bit. His wife, his fiance is here.
Mhm.
She is due on November the 16th. One of the reasons we're asking for him to be considered for bond is so that he can be present at that. One of the things we're going to be telling the court is that we're open to house arrest. We'd of course like for him to be able to work while in house arrest. But it's obviously a very important milestone. He does want to be supportive of his family.
All right, then we can set this for our MTR on October 31st. Oh, so you're set for October 29th. So that will be your MTR date.
Judge, if I may. I hate to be
Yes.
difficult. I'm actually got a vacation letter in for today and tomorrow. I stayed here to this morning to do this hearing, but I don't know that between now and October 29th, when I'm out of town for family commitments, that I'll have an opportunity to call those witnesses, prepare those witnesses, and have them ready for the 29th. I will of course be here, but I want to make the court aware ahead of time that there's just not much time with me being out of the office or something I put on the court's radar, not you, but by filing the letter, that I'll have time to prepare to clean.
So when is your vacation?
It's supposed to start yesterday, but I stayed here for days for this.
No, I mean, when is it? So yesterday and when? is
Starting
it?
yesterday through Friday, but of course that I didn't put in a vacation letter for the weekend because there was no court on the weekend, but I'm not getting back until Sunday evening.
So you're coming back on Sunday, the 27th?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Norma put this for October 31st. All right, so we're here on a motion to set bond. Is there a proposed agreement?
There's not, Your Honor. The state is.
All right, do you have any witnesses?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can call your first witness.
Oh, Paris Carmona, Paris Carmona.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Paris Alexandria Carmona.
All right, you may proceed.
Ms. Carmona, who is Mr. Medina to you?
He is my significant other.
How-
We are starting a family currently.
How long have y'all been dating?
About 9-10 months.
When you met Mr. Medina, through now, have you seen any positive changes in his life?
Yes, sir.
What have those been?
Honestly, he has slowed down a lot on drinking since we have met, because whenever we did meet, he was not in a good headspace. Now currently we are moved out of that situation. We do have custody of both of his little brothers and they have started school already.
And when did that occur?
That occurred about 2-3 months ago where we got legal guardianship.
And that is Mr. Medina's brother.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how old are they?
They are 15 and 16.
And how has Mr. Medina been influencing them in positive ways?
They have been amazing. His little brother actually wants to start cutting hair. And then the other one, he does want to go to the military.
And what is y'all's living situation currently?
So our living situation currently, we do live with my parents because they do want to support me and him throughout my pregnancy. I am currently 6 months pregnant. They are both retired military veterans. So we are in a way better and more stable living situation.
Do you believe that the structure within the house and being with your parents has also been helpful for Mr. Medina?
Yes, sir, 100%.
Is he able to help and support you through your pregnancy by being outside rather than in custody?
100%, yes, sir.
Is he able to help support his brothers by being outside in custody?
He does have a full-time job at a barber shop already, ever since like me and him have been together. Yes, sir.
And then has him being in custody for these last 4 or 5 days been a hardship on your family based on his brothers being in the house?
It has been super stressful just due to the fact that that is their older brother. And they are a little more frustrated due to the fact that he's not here, and it is harder for us to get into touch with him.
From your recent times with Mr. Medina, obviously he's on probation, he's charged with having done something wrong on that probation. Do you feel like he would be a good candidate for bond at this time if the court would grant it?
Honestly, sir, yes, sir, due to the fact that we are again in a super stable situation right now. He has no reason to not be, due to the fact that I have been holding him accountable to mostly everything since we have been together.
And have you had any arrests in your history, any criminal history?
No, sir, none at all.
Are you going to encourage him and support him and make sure that he reports to court?
Yes, sir, 100%.
Are you gonna make sure that he follows any other sports, rules like no drinking, no drug use, things of that nature while in bond?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else that you want this court to know while the court is considering a bond?
I do think that he does deserve a second chance just due to the fact that he is in a better headspace in this moment of time. We are super open to honestly anything to be able to have him out to support me and his two brothers. And then he also does have another daughter. She's 4 years old. He does have 50-50 custody with her mother, so we do usually get her on the weekends, during the week, whenever she does attend school. I just think that he would be a super good candidate to be on bond.
How is his relationship with his other child?
It's amazing. She adores him.
And is the co-parenting relationship between he and his ex good?
Yes, sir.
This court has the ability to place him on GPS restriction. Financially, are y'all able to pay that $300 per month? Should the court put that on?
Yes, sir. I am 100%. We are eligible to pay that.
I'll pass it.
State.
Ma'am, I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
Paris Carmona?
Ms. Carmona?
Yes, sir.
My name's Tony. I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
Did I hear you say you'll do your best to make sure that Mr. Medina is held accountable
Yes, sir.
and does what he's supposed to do?
Yes, sir.
How long have you known Mr. Medina?
So I have known him since the end of January, end of December, beginning of January.
So that's December last year?
Yes, sir, the beginning of this year.
So for about a year,
Yes,
up
sir.
there. And so would you say you have a open relationship with Mr. Medina?
Open as in how?
As in like you guys, yeah.
We do communicate
Yes,
throughout
open
everything. Yes,
communication.
yes,
Yeah, that's
sir.
what I meant. Open communication,
Completely,
you guys are completely honest with each other?
completely.
Yes. And so did he tell you that he was on probation?
So he did tell me about the situation that did happen whenever he was 17 years old. Personally, I don't ask if he is on any warrants, just due to the fact that we are super open, like super, super open. But he did tell me about the entire case in 2017. Yes, sir.
And I get that. I'm not saying like you're asking him, hey, do you have warrants? But he told you he was on probation, right?
I did not know that he was currently still on probation. I thought that I knew that he did serve time, so I personally thought that it was already over.
Okay. Did he make any comments about how much longer he was supposed to be on probation?
He has mentioned it once, but other than that,
And he didn't mention about checking in, doing other probation conditions?
no, sir.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Really briefly, we went over it. Y'all have custody of his two brothers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was his mom a good parent?
She is an amazing parent. I just don't think that she was stable enough to take care of the two boys. So regarding me and him, we're in a super stable environment right now. We thought that we would be able to provide a better living for them, especially due to them needing to be in school and the careers that they wanted to pursue.
And do you think maybe Nathan, having been with a mom who wasn't in the best spot, might have affected Nathan in some negative ways when he was young?
Yes, sir, especially in that point in time.
I'll pass it.
No more questions.
All right, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
I'll call Mr. Medina at this time.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Nathan Deshawn Medina.
All right, just for a moment, let's go off the record. All right, who's here on Richard Baker? Richard Nelton Baker? All right.
That's right. I've been calling your name in the hallway. I thought, Judge, will
Yes.
you recall this case later?
Sure.
I was calling his name in the hallway. I didn't realize.
Okay, no problem. We'll call it later.
Yes, sir.
Who's here on Julio Smith?
Morning, Jack.
Good morning.
I introduce two student attorneys.
Sure. Let me put on my glasses so I can see.
Andrea Vela
Hi.
and Tess Busick.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. Whenever you guys want to come in, you're more than welcome to come in.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go on the record because the first thing we have to address is motions. So the court is calling 2024 CR 007457 State of Texas versus Julio Smith. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Antonio Ariola for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Stephanie Stevens, along with Andrea Vela and Tess Busick, Bussick.
All right, so since they're with you, you all announce yourself on the record, please.
Yes, Andrea Vela and Tess Busick.
Okay, awesome. All right, the first thing we have before me is a motion to substitute counsel. So Raphael Leal was I guess appointed to represent Mr. Smith.
Correct, John.
All right, Mr. Smith, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. So Mr. Raphael Leal was appointed to represent you. Do you still wish to have him as your appointed counsel or no?
No.
All right, and who are you asking to be your counsel pro bono?
Stephanie Stevens.
All right, so according to the motion, it says pro bono will be Mark Stevens and Stephanie Stevens. And I'm assuming you all have no objection since you filed the motion?
No objection, John.
All right, so that motion to substitute counsel will be granted. All right, and then the next motion we have is, and this really doesn't have to be on the record, you're asking for the appointment of an investigator, so that will be granted. And all right, then the next thing for the court is defense counsel Leal previously stated that he had received all of the discovery. So has all of the discovery been received?
We are missing a few items, Judge, and we have conferred with the prosecution this morning. I think they are in the process of reaching out and trying to obtain those for us.
All right, what items are missing on discovery?
I was told to see if there's any other videos from the victim's phone that are currently not part of the discovery.
Mhm.
Pictures from the hospital during her stay at the hospital. And then there were some pictures that are here in the file that were not uploaded on eDiscovery. I was going to upload those to eDiscovery.
All right, let me see here. All right, Norma, can you put this for discovery? And this is going to be your final discovery date for November 21st. All right, we're going to be back on November 21st for your final discovery. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me see, what page is he on? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. They were ready to argue the investigator motion to you.
Oh, well, you know what? Do they want to argue to try it out on me? All right, excuse me. Can I have you two back up? All right, so my understanding With regards to the motion for appointment of investigator, you're prepared to make arguments of that?
Yes.
All right, so make your argument.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Are moving the court to have an appointed licensed investigator for this case. So Mr. Smith is currently unemployed and he did qualify for appointed counsel before we took this case pro bono. And because we are with the clinic and this is a pro bono case, we would like to remind you that there is no cost to the county, so that would be in our favor. We have spoken with investigator Mr. McKay, Mr. James McKay, and he will be charging $80 an hour. He has anticipated needing about 25 hours, which would total up to $2,000 for the total investigation. And we believe this is necessary because there are a number of witnesses that need to be interviewed and documents need to be collected from the hospital records and from the complaining witnesses' previous hospitalizations, police records, as well as different records that we would need for this case. And we believe Mr. McKay would be much more apt to deal with this in his line of work. He is a previously served 10 years as a police officer, and we believe he would be much more apt to help us with the investigation, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will tell you, and I'm not just saying this, that was an excellent argument. And it's a better argument than I've seen other attorneys make who've been licensed for a long time. What I can tell you, and I always tell people who are in law school or who are first out of law school, they know more law than anybody else. I mean, it's really true, right?
Sure.
So I will tell you, I did cross out and put it at $1,500, but based upon your argument, I'll put it at $2,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And again, I'm serious. If you ever want to stop by or you guys need anything, just come by. I used to be in the clinic too.
So, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Make sure that you all get a copy of the motion so that you can have that. All right. You're welcome. All right. Who's here on Joe Anthony Jimenez? You know, this Odyssey, it is.
Great.
Yeah, it's falling down. You know, I'm trying to get to a place and it won't let me go. I think I may have to. Let me see if it will let me do it. All right, just give me one moment. Let me put this in the system. It keeps saying case not there.
You see in front of it?
Yeah, it's like object required, whatever that means. I probably need to sign out. It won't even let me sign out. Okay. Just 1 second, sir. All right, thank you for your patience. All right, so he was sentenced to federal prison. An offer has been tendered. Today is the plea deadline date. So where are we, Mr. Porter?
I believe Mr. Jimenez wants to address the court.
Yes.
Ma'am, I had these motions for you and the DA because there's like conflict of interest between me and my attorney. And I would really request that you could please give me a different attorney to represent me. I'm innocent in this case.
All right, so here's the thing.
Didn't
Let
rob
let me just,
anybody.
let me explain something to you. And Mr. Porter has heard me say this before, but this may be the first time you're hearing it. Attorneys are appointed to represent defendants who can't afford to hire an attorney. And stop me at any time if you're not following what I'm saying. A defense attorney's job, I've been a defense attorney, I've been a prosecutor. In this court as a judge, I require and make sure that your attorney has all of the discovery in your case. Both parties, no. Here's the thing, you've been in federal custody in Karn City, all right? And you've been in waiting trial forever. That's why this case is still pending and it's been pending so long. It's been pending since May 2022. And I will tell you, it's because you've been in federal custody. And when you're in federal custody, I do not have the authority to make the federal government release you and bring you to state court to answer for these charges. We're only allowed to bring you over once those charges are completed. So that's number one.
You're frustrated.
No, I'm not frustrated. I'm explaining to you why you are here, all right? Now, once your attorney receives all of the discovery, then I order a plea deadline date. I require that the state tender an offer. Now, your attorney is ethically obligated to tender that offer to you. You can accept it or not accept it. That's completely up to you. Today is your plea deadline date. Are you accepting the state's offer? Yes or no?
No.
All right, so then that means that you're going to a jury trial. And guess what? This is the attorney that you're going to be going to jury trial with unless you hire an attorney. Are you planning on hiring an attorney?
Trying to. I need some time.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, how long do y'all expect this jury trial to last? State?
This would probably be 3 days.
All right, I need a jury trial date for criminal trial division, 3 days.
So you're not giving me time to hire an attorney?
All right, I need a jury trial date. All right, December 2nd is going to be your jury trial date. If you hire an attorney, you need to let them know that you're going to trial on December 2nd. You understand?
Not really, but
Well, let me explain it to you. On December 2nd, you're gonna be
Same.
brought
I'm
over.
a mental patient, man, so it's kind of hard for me to
I'm
understand.
gonna explain it to you. So on December 2nd, which is more than a month from now, you're gonna be brought over, dressed in whatever civilian clothing you have at the Bexar County Jail. So if you have a T-shirt at the Bexar County Jail, that's what you're gonna be brought over in. You're not gonna be brought over in the orange attire you're in unless you want to be dressed for trial in orange attire. Then what's going to end up happening, civilians, people in the world are going to be called up for jury duty. You're going to be sitting at this table with your counsel. The state is going to be sitting at that table. They will both have a chance to question the potential jurors. Once those jurors are selected, 12 jurors will be sitting in this box here. They will hear whatever evidence the state is going to present. Your attorney will have a chance to cross-examine them if he so chooses. And then that jury will make a decision on whether you're guilty or not guilty. If they decide you're not guilty, you're done. If they decide that you're guilty, you're either going to have punishment from the jury or punishment from the court. That's what's happening on December 2nd. If you decide to hire an attorney, that attorney needs to be ready for trial on December 2nd. Thank you. Thank you, counsel. Yes.
Arturo Martinez, and we're just asking for a reset, but I have a potential client coming in at 11:30.
Okay, I just call them in the order that I have them. So if they're up here, I'll call it once they do it.
I'll reschedule my appointment.
Okay. Felipe Lopez. Who's here on Felipe Lopez?
Hi, good morning, your afternoon, Pauline,
morning.
good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Mr. Lopez.
All right. All right, what are you here for today?
Judge, he set for a pretrial conference. At the last setting, the court reset us to get an offer from the state today. I do have an offer from the state. I provided a counter offer to ADA Edelman, and he is asking for some time to look at the evidence and consider that counter.
All right, your plea deadline date is going to be November 7th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Your Honor, before you call the next case,
Yes.
I'd like to give this discovery acknowledgements to Norma,
Okay.
defense attorney, left before I could give them to him and he can sign it.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Arturo Martinez? Arturo Martinez. Where's your client?
Thur Martinez.
Yeah, I can't let people leapfrog over others, then everybody's gonna want to leapfrog. Thank you for addressing appropriately for court. So discovery is uploaded. Has an offer been tendered?
We're in negotiations.
Judge, this is the first time I've spoken with Mr. Simpson on the case.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ferguson, on this case, I need a 20-day reset and state at that time you'll be prepared to tender an offer?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Judge, does the court have jurisdiction over civil matters?
That would solve this. Yeah.
November 14th.
All right, November 14th.
Thank you.
Once that's the reset form is signed, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Just take a seat.
And Norma, what page is he on the docket? Okay. You're welcome. All right, who's here on Renee Camarillo? Yes, and this is off docket. What do you need?
Judge, I just submitted a motion for us to review the evidence that is in the police custody.
What's going on?
It's just a motion for us to review the evidence.
Oh. Judge, I haven't reviewed it. Do you want me?
All right, so if y'all will review that, and if there's no issue, then state if you'll sign off on it.
Okay, Judge.
Alexander Rodriguez.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, state, on this case, were you able to tender an offer?
We have tendered an offer, Judge. I think what hold up us at the moment is the CPS records, which we requested on the last setting.
Mhm.
The records that defense requested are not particularly related to this case. It's regarding the mother when she was a child.
Okay.
And right now, the update that CPS gave us was up to November 15th because they're older records. We kind of have to go through them. As soon as I receive them, of course, that's by November 15th. They could send it to us earlier. And as soon as I do get them, of course, I'm gonna promptly send them over to defense.
So you're saying they'll have it by November 15th?
That's the date they gave us in writing.
All right, so we're coming back on November 18th.
That works.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Judge.
Have a seat, sir.
Okay, and let me see what page he is on. All right, thank you. You guys are finding them quickly for me. I appreciate it. Who's here on Richard Baker? Richard Baker.
You just stepped down.
Joshua Anzadua. Good morning.
Can we, is something we want to take that we don't want to have out there?
Yes.
Yes, Judge, I mean, it's all encompassing in the states. You mean both cases, Judge? Or just for both?
No,
Jason?
just that Jason.
She said the good Jason.
Oh. Good.
Sit down.
That's my foot.
Hey, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who is here on? Manuel Hernandez?
That's.
All right, are you all prepared to proceed on the motion?
On the motion.
He's Manuel Julian Hernandez. Oh, he's entering a plea?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, if everyone could be quiet, please. Court is calling 2021 CR 7019, State of Texas versus Manuel Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
Cornelius Cox.
and are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Just one moment, I'm sorry. Counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
Yes, sir.
Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, did you review the application for community supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you, is there an application?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
It should be in there somewhere.
okay. It is. Thank you. Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with assault of a peace officer or judge as a second-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison.
Yes.
There's a $1,500 fine. The state is recommending community supervision. They're taking in consideration 2021 CR 7020, and there's to be restitution, if any, to the complainants and the cause number. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, and no contact with the complainants. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. City Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objections.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes. Sir.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Mm.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
You're gonna need to speak up.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes. Sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes,
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
we just ask the court to follow the plea agreement.
All right, what was going on with you that day? Bad drugs, what?
No, man, it was, not the way it's supposed to be.
All right, well,
It
do
was
you
a
have
mis-
mental health issues?
No, man,
All right, so why are you spitting on officers and kicking officers?
I didn't feel remember.
All right, why are you banging your head against the paddy wagon? At least that's what we called it in my day, the paddy wagon.
I wasn't banging my head.
Do you want a jury trial? Are you saying you didn't do this?
Yes, man, I'm saying I didn't do it, but I don't
Do you want a
think-
jury trial?
No, man.
All right, because what I'm reading in here, you did it. Now, mind you, sometimes people take drugs, they get a hold of a bad batch and they act crazy. So it says that they responded because you were waving a machete around, yelling about how you wanted to kill people.
Yes, it was a misunderstanding. I didn't say that.
Did you have a machete?
No,
So you want a jury trial?
no,
All right. And it says that you were placed in handcuffs and then that you started slamming your head against the passenger back window, causing it to come from the frame of the vehicle. You were kicking the divider window, causing damage. You still were saying you wanted to kill everybody, including the officers. Then they transported you in the wagon for their safety. Photographs were taken of the damage to the vehicle, and all the damages were documented. They transported you to the hospital because they thought something was wrong with you. Then when they went to take you out of the wagon, you were laying on the floor after having unbuckled yourself. You spit towards the officer and the victim. And then they told you several times to stand up, you would not. And then they went to pick you up and you kicked them. So you're telling me you don't have any problems?
no.
Counsel, does he have any mental health issues? What's going on with him?
There was a couple years ago competency issue.
Okay.
That's been resolved. So he's competent now. And my understanding is that he, after evaluating the situation, his circumstances, that he wanted to enter a plea of no contest
Okay.
to this charge and accept the term of probation.
All right. Do you have any children?
No, man,
Who do you live with?
I live by myself.
Okay. Have you ever been on any type of medications?
No,
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. I want the following evaluations done in custody: a TAP evaluation, MIC evaluation, follow recommendations. Field visits 1 time per month for 4 months, taking consideration 2020 CR 7020. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days of release, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order anger management classes. Once he completes the anger management classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be restitution, if any, and no contact with the complainants. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
no, man.
Stop talking back there. All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, And because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, good luck to you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Cox,
Yes, ma'am.
you know what's happening this weekend.
Oh,
They're gonna do some, it's gonna be time for separation.
Yeah.
Jason Gerhan, I'm gonna request that he be moved. Jason, I'm requesting that you be moved during this time period when we play A&M. Oh, okay, I take it back. Thank you for the. All right, Jason, you can stay.
I picked up my favorite sky and then I turned around like, well.
You need the purple.
I got a good purple on today. I'm not gonna be wearing any purple this weekend.
All right, Cornelius, who are you taking in the game?
Oh, he already said. You wanted him to say it twice?
gotta go down the sheet.
Thank you. Who are you taking, Carl? You seem like you want to part of
Hey,
this.
you.
Worried about.
Hey, you already went.
I'm not a 2%er like my fellow ag here, Judge. I'm doing my boys always.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna see what happens.
Gonna be tough.
All right, thank you. Just one moment. I need to put this in the system. Yes.
I'm back on Ayana Hubbard.
Mhm.
We did her informal inquiry yesterday,
Mhm.
and when I was there, they let me know that she had a prior case where she was found not competent.
Okay, just give me a second. Let me go in order.
Okay.
Ding Tran. All right, so where, last time, August, there was a discovery disc needed.
Well, I think the disc has been provided.
Have the
It's in the
disc.
file.
Okay,
And I think what happened was Angelini required some things to be done discovery purposes,
okay.
and he only gave us a week. We
So
haven't
what-
gotten that done yet, and it's because of just the little bit of confusion in the case, because it was handed around to a few prosecutors, judge.
Okay.
So we're just requesting an extension, or not extension, a reset for at least another couple of weeks to get that, done.
Okay, what discovery is outstanding?
It's, I don't think there's any discussion.
It's more that they were to contact the complainant.
That's discovery, I guess you could say.
Okay. And how much time are you asking for?
At least 2 weeks, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset on Tran, please. All right, November 7th. And Charles, who are you picking in the game between LSU and A&M?
I have LSU.
All right, thank you.
I'll remember that one.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought about you when I got those tryouts. I was like, I was laughing. I was like.
Hubbert.
Like I said, we did the informal inquiry just yesterday, so now they have 30 days to provide a report. She's got a prior incompetency, so I wholly suspect her to
Is
come
she in
back.
custody?
She is, we had just appeared before you 2 days ago. There's, nothing else I can do with her. I wasn't
Okay, is she
sure.
on the docket today?
Yes, Judge, you brought me back today.
Okay, where's Miss Hubbard?
She's in custody, Judge.
downstairs. We have to.
Okay. Are you going to be talking to her today to let her know what's going on?
I can, Judge.
All right, so I need you to talk to her today to let her know what's going on, because I told her that we would have her brought back so we can see what's going on.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. Norm, I need a 30-day reset on Hubbert.
Would it be possible to do 45 just so we have that report back? Because they have 30 days from yesterday to do it.
It's going to be 30 days because it gets lost in the, in the system, and I don't want her to be lost in the system.
December 2nd, if that's okay, Judge.
All right, December 2nd.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused and I will
Yes.
communicate to her.
All right. No. You're welcome. All right, who is here on Desiree Garza?
Present, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2020 CR 7507, State of Texas versus Desiree Garza.
Is that a question, Your Honor?
Yes, for the state defense parties announced for the record.
Andrew Harris, say it on the.
Michael DeLeon for Ms. Garza.
And are you Ms. Garza? Are you all ready to proceed on the motion?
We are, Judge.
Ms. Garza, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and
Yes.
sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, not sign it, but did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Desiree Garza who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 7507 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance?
Yes, ma'am.
Penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on May 4th, 2021 for a period of 6 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
On or about the 19th day of January 2024 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Desiree Garza did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely amphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining violation allegations, Your Honor.
All right, everyone in the box, people in the box, attorneys in the box. Y'all need to move it down to that end because you're talking behind the court reporter and we're on the record. We're back on the record. Did you understand and state, are you waiving all other allegations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your,
Oh, please go ahead.
there is, Your Honor. The recommendation to alter and amend conditions for M8I supervision, dual diagnosis outpatient program, weekly reporting for 60 days, and monthly UAs for the duration of probation.
I would add to deny the motion, Your Honor.
Okay. Any objection to the court reviewing the court summary?
No objection, Judge.
All right, was she ever sent to Safe P? So,
According to the court summary, yes, Your Honor. From February 14th of 2023 to August 9th of 2023. With residential aftercare from August 9th to October 8th.
Both of those successfully completed.
All right, so here's the thing. Honestly, don't think you're a good candidate for probation because you've been here before for a motion to revoke. You know yourself better than I know yourself. I'm sorry, you know yourself better than I do. So I'm going to give you a choice. Normally, I can't give people choices. I can revoke you. I'll sentence you to 5 years in the prison. You're looking at 20. I'll sentence you to 5. Or I can continue you. And if I continue you, you're going back to Safe P relapse program. Those are your choices. But you're not going to outpatient treatment. I don't think outpatient treatment is appropriate. So those are your two choices. Counsel, do y'all want to talk about it and come back after the break?
I think we have an answer, Judge.
All right, what is the answer?
Judge, just to clarify that, Safe P after, what'd you call it?
Relapse.
Relapse, is it 120 to 180 days?
It's probably going to be longer.
Maybe longer, okay. Yeah, I don't know if it was 4 months or not.
Okay.
All depends.
So here's your two choices. One, you're going to Safe P relapse, or either you're going to prison for 5 years. Which do you prefer?
Up to you.
You know yourself better than I do, better than probation does, better than your attorney does. Either you think you can successfully complete this or you don't. Based upon the fact that you've been here before for not following through, it appears that you do your best work when you're in lockdown situations. For example, when you're at the Safe P, you did well. My understanding, you successfully completed. But then when you get to the real world, you just go back to the same ways of thinking. So that's up to you. So 5 years or either Safe P relapse, which do you prefer?
The safety.
All right, court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include the Safe P relapse program. And there's to be partial GPS upon release. And that will be for employment and probation classes. And that's until further notice. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Yes.
May I also ask for her to be on the mental health supervision?
All right, and MIC. Anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you.
I approach on Mr. Medina.
Yes.
Tony is still looking into the case. It appears we might have to come back at 1:30.
Okay.
Can I do it via Zoom from the passenger seat of a car?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the Zoom ID?
Ms. Ferguson will give that
Okay.
to you.
Perfect.
Okay. Just 1 second, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. See y'all then.
Brandon Banks. Brandon Banks. Where's Mr. Banks?
Good question, Your Honor. I've not heard from him and he has not shown up. He's not in the hall, Your Honor.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 009618, State of Texas versus Brandon Banks. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Tony, you want to be online for the state of Texas?
Defense?
Judith Wimmer.
All right, this case was called at 9 a.m. The defendant did not answer. It is now 11:56 a.m. and the defendant still has not answered. Defense, have you had contact with your client?
No, ma'am, I have not.
All right, state. Any requests?
Yes, for his bond to be revoked, Your Honor.
All right, the bond will be forfeited. He'll be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Rittenhour. Is there amount you're requesting?
I'm sorry.
Is there amount you're requesting? All right, make sure that you get your copy before
I'll
it's
do that,
sealed.
Judge. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Luis Martinez. No, the defendant.
Yeah, we can take,
Yeah.
that's fine, Judge. I'm also willing to go on my case too, so whatever.
All right, who is Luis Martinez? Is he on the docket? Ramsey Ibrahim.
That would be the bad Jason, Judge. May I approach?
Okay.
When I say bad, I mean bad.
Right.
Judge, I spoke with Mr. Froelich yesterday. Mr. Ibrahim is in custody, he got picked up. He picked up a new misdemeanor charge for which Mr. Froelich was appointed. If the court is amenable, if you grant my motion to withdraw, he would get on that case and it would proceed without any delay.
All right, so Froelich is saying that he's in agreement to being placed on 2024 CR 3624.
That's my understanding, and I'm not sure if he's had that conversation with Norma, but
Okay, so he's in agreement to be on that case. All right. Motion to withdraw will be signed.
thank you, Judge.
I guess
appreciate
you've
it.
learned no good deed goes
Boy,
unpunished.
gosh, let me tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
A couple of occasions I came in here to save him and then he just stopped talking to me, wouldn't pay me. So anyway, thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Michelle Garces?
That one is actually not.
All right, and where is she?
She's present.
Are you all proceeding?
I guess we're to enter a plea true and explain to the court.
All right, court is calling 2020 CR 2289, State of Texas versus Michelle Andrea Garces. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garrett, hand your honor.
for the defense?
Luis Martinez.
And are you Ms. Garces?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? You need to speak up.
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Michelle Andrea Garces who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 2289 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on January 27, 2021 for a period of 2 years and extended for a total of 1 year? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violated condition number 5 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Michelle Andrea Garza is in and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April 2023, May 2023, June 2023, and July 2023, a violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
We'll waive the remaining violated conditions, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objections to that, Judge.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes.
All right, court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
State is requesting one of two options. One would be safety with an extension, Your Honor, or revocation.
All right, and defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're requesting that she be extended, but that she be placed on a mental health caseload and evaluated in that respect, because we believe that's where her needs are.
All right, so why wasn't she reporting?
Judge, so she was going through a mental health crisis while she was participating through the felony drug court. She was taken to Laurel Ridge, that caused an issue, caused her to be exited from the program she was with felony drug court. After that, she did not contact me, did not report after that. She knew that she had a warrant out for an MTR. She's been participating with the Center for Healthcare Services, getting her meds, getting her counseling through them. She represents to me that she's clean today, so I suggest, or I would propose that we have her drug tested. Because I don't believe at this point that her needs are primarily simply substance abuse. She's been diagnosed as bipolar, she's got PTSD, she's been sexually abused in her past. She had a difficult upbringing given that she is a lesbian and that was not accepted in her household until very recently. And so all of those factors together have put Ms. Garces in a position where she certainly does have some very substantial mental health needs. Judge, I've got some documents from the Center for Healthcare Services, the state's reviewed and has no objection to, that indicate that she's been diagnosed consistent with those diagnoses. Indicates that she is going to the Center for Healthcare Services. Indicates that she's been prescribed medication and is staying on those meds.
All right, so it still doesn't explain to me why she disappeared for all of those months.
Well, she got exited and she didn't make good decisions. Had she contacted me, Judge, obviously, we would have come back to the court and communicated with the court. Unfortunately, Michelle, like with most people in this court, didn't deal with the problem until she got arrested.
All right, and see, the problem the court has is this is not her first motion to revoke. So, probation?
Judge, probation. They stand either safety or revocation.
Those are your choices.
And Judge, I don't think that adequately addresses the mental health needs that she's got. And certainly we haven't addressed that to this point. And without those, I don't think that she was ever going to be successful. And I know that was not communicated to the court, but I'm doing that now. Once again, I propose that we have her drug tested. If she's clean, then we know that she's got some control over her drug issues.
So here's your problem. You were in felony drug court, and I know that felony drug court would address mental health issues, but if you're not showing up, then they can't address mental health issues. Right. And you were previously on the mental health caseload. So your options are, you can go to SafeP, or if you want to be revoked and just do your time, I can revoke you and I can sentence you, I'll sentence you to 3 years in the prison. So which do you prefer? So those are your options, SafeP or either revoke for 3 years.
Could we step aside, Judge?
Yes, you can step aside in the box.
Yes.
Okay. And what I'll do is, counsel, I can bring you all back at 1:30. Okay. All right. Yeah,
So she's gonna be able to book?
yes, she's gonna, go into custody. Well, because
No, I understand, yeah, I understand what the court's saying.
all right, and we're gonna take our break, everyone. I think decisions are made better when people have their lunch breaks.
Renee Camarillo's, this motion that was signed, that was the discovery, or no, you signed it, right?
yes.
Yeah, it's been signed, so you're gonna copy it.
Yeah, it's been signed.
Thank you, Greg.
My bond compliance hearing, is that moot?
Sorry, what?
I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Is my bond compliance hearing moot since he's in custody?
For Camarillo?
No, Baker, you called it earlier.
Oh, where's Baker?
Not that Baker,
No.
that Baker over there.
All right, Richard Baker, come down, please.
You're so kind.
No problem.
Judge, Ms. Garcia's, it was set up originally as a contested hearing. Ms. Garcia is here. She was the officer of record. Did you want her to come back after break, or is she excused?
You want to sing back?
Can tell you is I've already given her two options. If you think those options are inappropriate and you want to come back to discuss it with me, and have both parties question you, we can do that. Otherwise, if you think those are appropriate options for her, you won't have to come back. All right, thank you. Thank you for coming down. Have a good one. All right, so this is the last matter we'll take up for lunch. He has a violation report.
That's correct. The violation report alleges two new cases, one pending in your court, one in 14. He's on bond since last August of 2023 for two unindicted cases in your court. And the court.
All right, so state, who is on Richard Baker for the felonies? It's two aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon?
It's all 701, Judge.
It's a 701?
Yes.
Sounds like 701, Judge. Let me just check to make sure. Richard Baker?
That's correct.
Counsel, I can tell you what the court's issue is. I think you know.
Yes.
So he's on bond for two aggravated offenses. Then it's alleged that he has
A
New
new
assault.
family second, yes, and then new interference with a 911 call.
So I honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remand him without bond and we can set it for a hearing. Where witnesses can, of course, once you're remanded without bond, we'll have a hearing and we can have that hearing within 7 days or sooner. And then witnesses will have to be called.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I'll make a decision
And-
on whether you should remain remanded without bond.
Yes, ma'am.
But just looking at, this violation report, you have two aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon. And I'm being told that this is family violence, maybe. And then on October 19, 2024, there is an allegation of assault family household member with a previous conviction. And so it's listed as a third-degree felony. And then you have a misdemeanor interference with emergency call for assistance. I believe that's 911 call, alleged.
County Court 14.
Yeah.
If I may, Your Honor.
Yes.
On the two cases that we're here on, that
Mhm.
you are about to order remand without bond.
Mhm.
I'd ask you not to do that, and if you want to hold him without bond, Your Honor, please increase the bond on 724-083. And I won't complain. We'll call that a remand without bond and have a hearing on that. The reason for that is if you remand him without bond on the two cases that he already has a bondsman, that's kind of inviting the bondsman to quit, to file an affidavit
All
of
right, so
surety.
has he made bond on those other two cases?
He has made bond on the two cases, the night mags, the PF 220. One more time, Montgomery, the night mag 724-083 and 724-084. He's paid he's borrowed $7,500 and paid that to a bondsman. And if you remand him without bond on those night mag cases, you and I both know that bondsman's going to quit.
And so then he's gonna have to make a new bond altogether. And since he's borrowing the money from family, he's a veteran, he's got issues, we're not gonna get into the merits of it here. I would ask instead that the case pending in your court, the ABI second 2024 pre-file 20375, on that case, you could raise that to a remand without bond. We could schedule a hearing on that one. That way the court can know that he's not getting out, which is, I believe, your objective, but it prevents the bondsman from getting off the bond at least right away.
All right. State, do you have any objection to the court doing a judge's warrant and remain without bond on the 2024 PF 20375?
Can Mr. McGregor repeat what he just said?
No
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so then what I'll do is on that case, I'll remand you without bond. I'll issue a judge's warrant. And then it can be reset if you'll get with Ms. Ferguson and we will discuss if a bond should be set in that or not.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'll remind you at that hearing what we did in case the court.
Oh, my mind's a steel trap. It will be there.
Mine is too, and it's rusty.
You're right. Because Norma, was he on docket today? All right, then let's go ahead and set him then. You want to come back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Sure.
Can you see about a 3-week date on that?
I did talk to the 701